That one was right down the middle, buddy. That one was right down the middle, buddy. Hey, Jeff Packer here with the Packer Group, and we're doing one of my favorites, which is our quarterly market update video. And you can guess what time of year it is. It's golf season. What's going on in the real estate market? Let's talk about the supply side of the equation, because supply, not a lot's changed from previous market update videos. We are still dealing with the least amount of homes that we've had in a long time. When we look at like Wayne County, Oakland County, Livingston, Washtenaw, one of the things that we're seeing consistently in those areas is that inventory level is either the same as it was last year at this time, or if there's an increase, there's a slight increase, but there's also in some areas a slight decrease. So all in all, inventory levels remain relatively similar to where it was last year, but those were record low inventory levels. So we're still continually dealing with supply issues. Maybe I need to ditch the whole idea of warming up on a driving range, because I put that first drive right down the middle of the fairway. I don't know. All right, so we just talked about supply kind of being really low. Why is that? Why is supply so low? Well, probably one of the number one factors is that there's so many people locked into an interest rate that's below 4%. So many people, even some are below 3%. And it's hard for somebody in that spot to be interested in selling a home and buying a bigger, better home when interest rates are at 7%. So we know that's one of probably the biggest issues. A lot of the sellers that we seem to be working with right now are mainly people that have a major life event that need to sell. So we'll deal with people that are going through divorce, unfortunately. A lot of folks that are downsizing. So maybe they're a cash buyer and the interest rates don't really impact them, and they have a house that's paid for. We're dealing with a lot of people that are moving into retirement communities, and then estate sales and things like that. So a lot of the appointments that I go on seem to be around that. So unless there's a really big need to sell the home, we're seeing a lot of people, essentially staying put and staying there, which is why the inventory levels are at an all-time low. Yep, slower than I thought. All right, we open up with a par at least. That's not bad. Yeah, straight out of the car. Nope. That went left. So let's talk about the demand side, Sam. So demand, I think we talked about this in the other video that we did, is bottom line is we've got like interest rates that are really high, and we've got affordability issues. And that is keeping the demand side low. How do we know the demand side's low? Well, again, when we look at available listings that are out there, they're pretty similar to what they were last year, but we're selling less homes. When we look at the closed transactions in most of the counties that I mentioned, Wayne, Oakland, Washtenaw, and Livingston counties, we are seeing a smaller amount of closed sales. Not by a ton. It's like usually in most of the counties, it's anywhere from 1 to 4% less homes sold year to date versus last year at this time. But nonetheless, it is less homes that are available for less homes that are closing right now. So, so demand we know is lower than where it has been, and that's concerning. But we've been at such a seller's market for so long with low inventory and high demand. Demand shrinking a little bit isn't all that big of an issue in the whole scheme of things. So I'm not like overly worried about that from a standpoint of kind of where the demand is. I think though that, the big question is going to be what's going to get people that are on the fence, because actually demand's not what's small. There's actually a lot of people that want to buy a home. Really what's small is how many are actually doing it. And I think it's affordability, it's the interest rates being higher, it's maybe concerns over this is an election year, what's going on with how that's going to play out. So there's so much uncertainty going into this election. I can see where people might be hitting the pause button a little bit right now. And I think that's what we're experiencing. All kind of mirrors life. Sometimes we find ourselves in tough spots and we just gotta play the conservative play here. Get past that tree. Uh-oh. So with supply and demand kind of being where they're at, still low supply, but demand shrinking as well. It's just meaning that the market's moving to a little bit cooler spot. But then we've got seasonality aspects right now. And I would say, like, I've been on a handful of listing appointments as of late. And in those listing appointments, the absorption rate numbers, which absorption rate is like, if there were no new homes hit the market, how fast would it take to sell the existing homes out there? And in a lot of the markets I'm in, it's under 1 month, under 2 months, which is still really good. And that's kind of what I would expect this time of year. And so what that tells us is supply isn't necessarily outpacing demand. Demand's keeping up with supply and stuff is selling pretty quick. Where I see things struggling a little bit is maybe that higher price point. So that's, if anything, where it's taking a little bit longer to sell is that 700,000 and higher. Sam, you remember playing Tiger Woods golf on like a gaming system?
Oh yeah.
It's where like the heartbeat's going, pressure putt, gotta make it. Double bogey. That's why you don't hit it into the trees. So one of the things I haven't talked about yet is days on market, kind of an update there. And interestingly enough, we're seeing actually a decrease in days on market in almost every county that we do business in. And so that's, again, another indicator that buyers are out there and they are buying. Stuff's not sitting, necessarily as long as it did last year on the market. And again, the change isn't drastic, but all that being said, it's interesting to see days on market shrinking and things like that. Now, anecdotally, I can tell you we're starting to also see, especially in that higher price point, more price reductions. So that tells us stuff is starting to sit a little bit more. And so some of that's more what we've seen since the end of June here so far in July. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as we move into the third quarter here. Get down. Well, Sam, we've got the super smart play, right? Super smart play. Pay off all your debt before buying a house. That's that play. This is the, hey, make sure that your mortgage payment really fits well within your budget. So it's a smart play, but it's still a little risky because you might have some debt. And then the pins up there, That's like the super aggressive play where you like go for it regardless of your financial situation. And if the lender can lend you the money, you just go for it. I'm not really a big fan of that one, but this seems a little bit too easy. I like the middle option. Let's get down there a little bit further and see if we can yeah, get down there a little bit further. I may hit a tree here, so be protected, Sam.
Just don't hit my camera.
Okay, anything but the camera. Anything but the camera. Oh, baby, that was good. All right, I feel like we covered most of the important stuff. And now it's just kind of wrapping it up and putting a bow on it. So here's what I suspect is gonna happen moving forward. What, into the third quarter, fourth quarter, close out of the year, what can we expect? If you're thinking of buying or selling, how does this impact you? If you're thinking of selling, it's still obviously a really good time to sell in the sense of not a ton of competition because inventory is low. Days on market is tighter than it was a year ago. So from that perspective, it's good. Prices are up from what it was a year ago. So that's good if you're looking to sell. So all those things considered, selling a house right now, you're in a good spot, especially if you're not in a spot where you necessarily need to go and jump on buying a home right away. If you're, downsizing into a property you already own or something like that. Second thing would be if you're buying a home right now, kind of the type of market that we're dealing with right now, it's a challenge. There's no doubt about it, but it's been a challenge for a better part of almost a decade. I think we started seeing a switch to a seller's market out of the buyer's market of 2008, 9, 10, 11. Somewhere around 2013, I think we started seeing 2014, we started seeing it become a seller's market. So in all intents and purposes, when we look at this, really it hasn't been an easy time for buyers to buy homes given the current market conditions. So I think what I mean by that is like just saying, hey, it's a good time to buy all the time isn't really a good thing. But think about it, like 5 years ago, if somebody bought a home and it was a challenge then, like I had a lot of buyers who were like, we're just gonna wait for the market to cool off before we buy. Man, most of those people wish they probably would have bought 5 years ago. Because if they bought 5 years ago, they would have taken advantage of some of the biggest property gains we've seen, which happened in 2020 and 2021. I don't suspect we're gonna see huge property gains again, but I will say we are gonna see property gains. And the reason is because the rates are starting to drop lower. And most of the experts believe they will continue to go lower. I don't think we're gonna see levels at 5% or lower anytime soon. Might not even get to 6%. But I think we'll be in the maybe 6.5, maybe low sixes. If we can get below 6, that would be phenomenal. But here's the danger with that. If we get below 6, everybody and their sister is going to flood the market, and that's going to cause prices to skyrocket again. And inventory levels are going to remain low. And so everybody's going to be fighting over the remaining homes that are there. So what's my point? My point is, if you can put yourself in a financially good spot to buy. It makes sense because you're going to take advantage of property gains over the next 5 years, three to 5 years. And you can always refinance and get a lower rate if they come down lower. So that's our recommendation a lot of times when it comes to buy. Is it a buyer's market? No, it's not the ideal time to buy, but it hasn't been the ideal time to buy in the last 10 years. So, but even with that, you could have still made a lot of money had you bought 5 years ago. So those are just some things to consider and take into account. All right, we got a birdie putt that was pretty decent. Right on line, a little short, but that's all right. If you're a seller and you're just, or maybe not a seller, you're just a homeowner, you're curious about your home's value, we've got a great tool that'll keep you updated month over month with what your value of your home is. So we'll get you that. That I think would be helpful. The other thing is if you are thinking about buying, we can put you up on a property search. But more importantly, we want you to talk to one of our really great lenders. And because the reality is, now more than ever, you want to make sure that your budget is intact and in line, and you know exactly what you can afford and things like that. There is no refund policy after you buy a home and things like that. So we want to make sure that what you're buying affordability wise is what you're looking for. So we'll have a lot of useful information at the end of this video in the description. We'd love for you to just click on that stuff, get in touch with us. And then on top of that, just know the Packer Group, we specialize in the southeast lower part of Michigan, specifically Wayne, Washtenaw, Oakland, Livingston counties. We'd love to help you in terms of either selling a house or buying a house. I've got a great team, awesome agents that care for people and want to do the right thing for people. We talk more people out of buying a house than into buying a house because we want you in the right house. And we've got a really, really good track record of getting your home sold. We've got a great marketing strategy. We'd love to put it to work for you. So this is our second quarter market update. We're halfway through 2024, and the real estate market has its challenges, but we are here to tackle those challenges. Thanks, and welcome home, Detroit. Oh, it was in the heart. I just hit it too slow. Early morning golf, the dew, and I've been playing a lot of golf on greens that are a little bit shorter than this, but all said, +2 through 3, better than Tiger Woods. But hey, again, thanks for taking a watch at our second quarter market update halfway through 2024. Welcome home, Detroit.